Welcome back, boxing fans, to another episode on Talk and Fight of Boxing News Today. News from around the world in the sport of boxing starts us off in Montreal, where we saw that Christian Mbilli now remains undefeated after his super middleweight showdown and his toughest test of his career over Carlos Gongora, who's now 21-2, by the way. And a war indeed it was, by all accounts. Certainly a lot of action across the various rounds. A couple of contenders really working hard. And we saw Gongora actually rock Mbilli twice with uppercuts, but Mbilli recovered and fought back over the entire duration of the fight. And Mbilli punished Gongora late to win. Scores were 97, 93, 98, 92, 99, 91, thereby allowing Mbilli to retain his WBA International and WBC Continental Americas titles. Great fight indeed. In the heavyweight division, we saw Simon Keane, 23-1, 22 knockouts, score a seventh round knockout over former world title challenger Eric the Drummer Boy Molina, now 29-9. Is a bit slow paced, apparently, by all accounts, but for the most part, opened up in that seventh round. And in that round, Keane connected with a right hand that put Molina on the canvas for good. Time being 2 minutes, 39 seconds, as I said, of that seventh round. Elsewhere on that card over in Montreal, we saw super lightweight Steve Claggett broke down and stopped Rafael Guzman over 7 brutal rounds of infighting. Guzman finally didn't come out for round number 8. Unbeaten lightweight, by the way, Luis Santana, and 9-0, 3 knockouts. Scored a technical knockout over Francisco Otero Ramirez Martinez. He's 11-5, by the way. In round 3, the bout was halted when Martinez turned away after taking a liver shot. Love those liver shots. Time was 1 minute, 23 seconds of round number 3. Leila Bedouin beat Lola Avandano in the super featherweight division. Wilkins Mathieu beat Jose Saldana in the super middleweight division. Johan Aribio knocked out Alejandro Medina in the super featherweight division, and Vanessa LePage Jonis won in 4 rounds over Princess Hairston in the female cruiserweight division. Good stuff. We saw that the Ramirez Kami press conference yesterday said Jose Ramirez, we're focused on Richard Kami. This is going to be a good fight. We look forward to delivering a lot of excitement. So it was an honor for me to fight here in Fresno in front of people who saw me grow up as a fighter. I hope to get out there on Saturday, showcase my talent in front of the people who love me the most. This is going to be the Save Mart Center in Fresno, California. Richard Kami, for his part, said, I'm always excited to get back in the ring. This is what I do. It's going to be an interesting fight on Saturday. I really want to become a 2-time world champion, so I'm coming strong. Fair enough. We also saw a press conference between Dave Benavidez and Caleb Plant, 2 guys who do not like each other. Super middleweight rivals David, the Mexican monster Benavidez, and Caleb Plant stated their intention to settle their rivalry emphatically during Thursday's final press conference before they meet for Benavidez' WBC interim title headlining action live on Showtime pay-per-view this Saturday night at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Benavidez said, I'm going to break Caleb's jaw on Saturday night by the 6th round. I've hurt everyone I've gotten in the ring with, and I can't say the same for him. I guarantee I'm going to hurt him. I really don't like that guy at all. This is definitely the grudge match that everybody wants to see. For his part, Caleb Plant responded, the fans are going to see me get my hand raised. That's what I'm guaranteeing. I feel I'm the better boxer. I have the better IQ. I have more experience. I have better pedigree. I'm going to show on Saturday night I'm one of the best in the world at what I do. We've yet to see if he can perform at this level, but we're going to find out. Good stuff. Alrighty, on we go to a bit of a follow-up on that particular story with respect to Benavidez saying he's going to break the jaw of Caleb Plant. Wrote Dan Ambrose in BoxingNews24.com. He said, David Benavidez says he's going to knock Caleb Plant out and break his jaw. on Saturday, March 25th, when he defends his WBC super middleweight title in the main event. Over I said at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. During the face-off at today's press conference, Benavidez says he told Plant 22-1 that he's going to knock him out. Benavidez has wanted to get a chance to put Plant in his place for the last 3 years, and he's getting his opportunity to face him now. If it falls on Saturday, maybe a word missing here. If he fails on Saturday night, this could be the last chance Benavidez gets at fighting Plant or landing a fight against Canelo Alvarez. Unfortunately for Benavidez, it's not going to be easy for him to put hands on Plant because he's a mover and will likely be running around the ring as fast as possible to keep from sustaining punishment. Plant's last fight against 38-year-old Anthony Durrell was virtually unwatchable due to all the movement. He was going to fight until he finally stopped in the ninth round to land a fight-ending left hook to the head of the aging Flint, Michigan native. It's likely that Plant will try to land a similarly sneaky shot on Saturday night against Benavidez, but his chances of scoring a knockout aren't good because he's got a rock iron chin. Moreover, Benavidez will be ready for Plant to try and pull a similar move on him, so he'll be less likely to be caught unaware in the same way that the past his prime Durrell was. Said Benavidez, I told him that he was a pussy and that I was going to knock him out. I'm happy that we're able to get this face-off. I think as you get older, you gain more power. Everyone is saying that Caleb Plant has gained more power. I was already a power puncher when I was 20, and when I was coming up. I'm 26 now. Nobody's mentioning my power. I've gained more power in training camp. I'm very excited. I worked very hard for this fight. This is the movement in time I knew I was going to get to. I prepared extremely well for this time, and I'm just ready. His eyes were glassy, he concluded. I feel like he was scared. I can go on and say all things I think I see in him, but it's just time to fight. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I can't wait to get in there. David Benavidez at his best. All right, let's move along to some other guys who do not like each other. Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk continue their war of words. This comes out of England. Sky Sports says plans to stage Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk on all 4 of the major heavyweight titles next month. They've imploded. Fury has declared that to be Usyk's fault. Plus, Otto Wallen offers to step in to fight Fury, while Martin Bakole now hopes to position himself to challenge Usyk. And this is in the wake, as we recall yesterday's newscast, in the wake of what Eddie Hearn had to say. Anyway, so Fury had been on course to box unified WBO, WBA, IBF champ Usyk on April 29th. But despite a long period of negotiation, the two teams could not reach a conclusion, and talks finally collapsed on Wednesday, as we all know. Fury has accused Usyk of running, saying, "You were never man enough to tangle with the Gypsy King, ever in your life." Usyk had accepted Fury's public challenge of taking the short end of a 70-30 purse split on the proviso that Fury made a sizable donation to the Ukrainian relief effort. In a foul-mouthed tirade on social media on Thursday, that would be yesterday, Fury declared that Usyk tried all week to get out of it, begging for a rematch. You got your rematch, then didn't even want to fight at that. You little 14-stone coward. Sorry. Usyk's promoter, Alex Krassyuk, revealed to Sky Sports that the discussion over the rematch clause and the purse split for the potential second fight was the final straw for the unified champion. Krassyuk said that the rematch clause was just the point where it all exploded. The discussion about the rematch split was just the point where Usyk was fed up with everything. He said, "How many more times do I have to bow my head in front of Tyson? Why should I do this? It's enough. Either he accepts what I say or leave." Tyson did not accept it, and he left. Krassyuk did say a one-fight deal could still be acceptable, although then the split should not be 70-30. The fight, it appears, cannot be saved, and in the coming days, the WBA is expected to instruct Usyk to box its mandatory challenger, Daniel Dubois. Said Fury, "Keep running. Fight Dubois at the Copper Box, and always know you or anybody else like you can never tangle with the Gypsy King." All right, good stuff. Now, moving along in the heavyweight division, we see that Jermaine Franklin is about to tackle Anthony Joshua in a ring. Jermaine Franklin believes he's discovered the kryptonite to bring former unified heavyweight champ Anthony Joshua to earth on April 1st in their scheduled 12-round fight that'll be shown on the zone at the O2 Arena in London, England. Franklin, who's 21-1, by the way, 14 knockouts, who arguably should be undefeated, is 100% convinced that the surefire way of defeating Joshua is by hitting him with an avalanche of punches to break him mentally. With Joshua, now 24-3, by the way, Franklin notes that it's more mental than physical, as he hates getting hit and becomes frustrated when his opponents touch him with shots. It doesn't seem to matter if they lack power. Joshua does not enjoy getting hit and starts to question himself and falls to pieces rapidly when we saw him in 2 fights with Alexander Usyk. This, by the way, comes courtesy of Jake Tiernan over at BoxingNews24.com. Even when AJ fought Dillian White in 2015, he was shaky in the second and third rounds when he got hit with punches that weren't the bazooka variety we've seen from the body snatcher during his career. White had Joshua questioning himself with average blows to the head and body. He doesn't like to be touched. From everything I've watched, he doesn't like to get touched a lot, said Jermaine Franklin. So just hitting him would frustrate him a lot. Basically, I'm going to get in there and stay busy, get him out the game plan. We're going to be ready for whatever. It doesn't matter if he wants to box, if he wants to brawl, said Franklin. It is interesting that Franklin, 29, was able to pick up the deficiency in Joshua's game so quickly, which other opponents of his ilk have failed to identify. That shows Franklin's keen insight and explains why he's got the better of White last November in their fight at Wembley Arena in London. Franklin understood how to defeat Dillian and went about his business like a surgeon, getting the better of him in virtually every exchange until the final seconds of the 12th, when he was momentarily knocked off balance by a big left hook that caused him to fall into the ropes. I want to nail everybody to the canvas. I'm going to be in there and beat him down to where there's no doubt in anybody's mind that I won the fight, said Franklin. Wow, it's going to be a good one. And there we have it. Thank you, Carl. I enjoyed your show last night as well. Carl from Last Bell Boxing, 2 thumbs up. You got anything good to say to me today? Last Bell Boxing will be at the Joshua fight. Boom. Good for you. You got to use the P word at this. Oh, yes. Just quoting the P word. But this show is not intended for kids. We all know that. All right, sports fans, that's it for me. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see you later on at 4 p.m. and then later on at 7 p.m. Eastern Time when I join first Mike Gordon, Cedric Bev for their show Knuckle Up, and then the Friday night panel. And hopefully Carl will join us on Friday night as well.